Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anime Sickos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we take a look at the four pillars of modern misery, anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom, an anime sicko.
And I am Joe, an anime sicko.
No fucking around this time. It's a Guesto episode, and what a one it will be. Joe, I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm thoroughly jazzed.
And why are we jazzed? Well, let's introduce our guest, and you'll understand. A guest. Reveal yourself.
Step forward from the shadows.
I am Gwynn Fulcher.
Gwynn, when we started the show, we were like, here's the concept. This is what we'll talk about. Here's a couple ways that we can do an episode. That's fun. And every once in a while we'll have guests. What kind of guests are we going to have on? Well, obviously we're going to have on Gwynn at some point. And it took us 110 episodes, but we did it. And now you're here. Gwynn, introduce yourself. What's your deal? What's it all about?
Oh, there's so much. I have so many facets. I'll start with just like the front facets because, there's so much to every person and individual. I am, first and foremost, I play Omi Heck on the podcast Shuffle Quest, which, of course, all of you sickos know. And if you don't know,
heard that was pretty
now
good.
You know.
Yeah. Go
check it out. It's the funniest and the funnest.
It is quite good. I enjoy it.
It's super fun. I am also a fucking cog. I'm an accountant, and
Hell yeah.
my job is
Number
always
cog.
My job has always been to dispel the idea that accountants are not fun. Also, we fuck. Anyway, accountants fuck.
I wouldn't know anything about that. We've never been horny on this show.
I'm getting to heaven. Sorry.
I am never going to be shy about horniness. So, Joe, apologies in advance because I do respect you. I swear.
Earmuffs. Just say earmuffs before you say like vagina.
That's going to come up in the anime section.
Oh yeah.
In the anime pillar.
Yeah, that's about right. I was about to be like, when would that come up? But anime, like one of the main things we're talking about. Yeah, they do be talking about that.
Other things I sing, I write, and that's about it. Those are the facets I choose to show you today.
Singing was an undersell on, I think, the background a little, in my opinion.
Yeah, I knew you for like a long time before I knew that you could sing and well at that.
But like, I'll say, because you're not classically trained, opera is the kind of singing we're talking about. Like, this isn't Yankee Doodle Dandy. This is like when you yell real loud, but it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
What a way to put it.
I went to
what opera
school
is.
for theater and opera performance, which was, as my dad said, a double major in poverty. But it did turn out, as long as I liked numbers and money and accounting. So who doesn't like money?
Yeah.
God, I'm a fucking cog. Fuck.
I mean, so are we all. And Gwynn's, I knew you did theater because when I first met you, it was in the context of live lit, which now that when I say that out loud, because I haven't talked about this out loud in a very long time, when I say it out loud, it sounds like I'm talking about like an alien world where like another being that resembled me in some very superficial ways was interacting with this alternate world where people would go out to bars and we would read, and it was not stand-up, but it's supposed to be funny. And it's not, I guess you could call it storytelling, but it didn't have to be a story. And you would go
It could be sad. It could be sad as you want it to be, as long as you tell one joke. There has to be a joke.
If you have one big
and then you
joke,
can just trauma dump.
That's usually my style as well. Someone pointed it out to me, and I was sad for a little bit, and then realized, no, that's my style, and that's okay.
Yeah.
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 Like one of the great bits of the Skewer, the show that I used to run that you were on many times, is that as it went on, more and more people would incorporate into their pieces roasting me and the things I always do every single time and the only 5 jokes I know. And I gotta tell you, I never wasn't fun.
That's amazing, and I love it. It's endearing. It's because everybody loves you. It's because you give off the little brother energy, So the little teasing, especially anybody who has been an older sibling, like they just flock to you, I bet, in the gentle teasing way.
You know, I mean, to really prove this dynamic is true, Gwynn, I'm gonna let people know some real life facts from my life. When I got married, I was like, we're not gonna do, groomsmen and bridesmaids. We're just gonna have, my wife's gonna have her sister, and I'm gonna have my sister as like the best sister,
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, as long as we got all this sisterly energy, let's ask Gwynn to officiate. And I tell you what, it was magical.
That's how I got ordained. Because you were the first wedding I ever officiated. I got ordained through the Church of like California, where you can get ordained online.
The Church of California has its own church?
Well, no, I think
forget for the ordaining,
it's like marriage.
There's some fun institutions.
Yeah, it's like marriage ministry or something like that. It's so you can get ordained specifically for the purpose of officiating, and it had like a ton of resources and like best practices. So like I did a couple like bullet points off of that, and I met one of my friends who is a like 50 plus weddings officiant. I took him out for a drink. This was back in the days where you could take someone out for a drink in a bar in open space and not have to cover anything.
That's messed up.
And he gave me so many great tips. And honestly, the biggest tip he gave me, which I now see as a mistake in so many people officiating weddings, is never fucking talk about yourself. This is not your wedding. You officiate for them. And like, I've seen so many officiants be like,
when I met them,
yep.
yes.
And they'll tell a whole story about themselves.
That has huge pastor vibes.
Yes!
It does. You're turning the chair around and be like, hey kids, let's rap.
Oh my God,
my relationship with the Lord is a lot like Goku's relationship with powering up.
I think the mistake comes from like, it is important to meet with the couple on, at least 2 or 3 times, get to know them, how did they meet and all that stuff. But I think the mistake is they're like, when I met with them, instead of just like incorporating those precious and wonderful stories into the service, or however you want to refer to it, instead of making it about you discovering those things. Yeah. Also, never make fun of the bride. Never.
Yeah.
You can make fun of the groom all you want.
You can rib the groom gently.
Yes.
But not too much, or otherwise I'll get sad. Anyway, no.
I did once. I only did it once.
Yeah. It was magical, and here's actually another peek behind the curtain. I don't even think you know this, Joe. I don't think I've ever told you this. But after my wedding,
that's right.
We all went to the little back room, right? The little back room just for the groom and bride, and Gwynn was there. And she was like, you did it, guys. Oh, it's incredible. Oh, I'm so happy for you. And we're like, thank you. Oh, it was perfect. And Gwynn was like, all right, so where's the certificate? Where's the marriage certificate? The license, yeah. And I'm just like, prior to this, I was told, like, Tom, don't worry about it. Just like, we got this. It's under control. It's totally fine. And I took that to mean everything's under control, and I really don't have to do anything. So Gwynn was like, where's the license? And I'm like, the what now? And so we didn't actually get married that day in the eyes of the law.
It was the following Wednesday.
When we had to explain it to a city employee, like, we need a marriage license. When's the wedding? It already happened. She got so fucking mad.
You said that?
You can't put a date in the past. And I'm like, we're not going to put the date in the past. It's just that's when we can't not have the wedding happened. Fuck.
It's like, lady, don't you see we're trying to build a lie together and you're fucking it up?
You could just not point this out, like, that's fine. You'd get paid either way.
We should be able to do that more in life. There's a work situation that happened where, like, it was a similar thing where it's like, you technically did this wrong. And, like, the thing I wanted to say is, like, can we be cool? Can you just be cool about this?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to make a deal?
Yeah, managers, they always want to be like, your work affects me. And I'm like, well, then give me more direction, and then my work will be better for you. I don't know what's... Like, dude, you threw this at me and said, make it happen. I made it happen. And now you're mad.
And it's like, your work affects me. Now I'm mad. Like, well, just like, fucking, who cares about your work either? Well, let's both chill. Like, let's all chill.
Or you,
who cares?
Or you come to find out it was work he was supposed to do, and that's why your work affects him. Like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, my dude.
It sucks. Gwynn.
Yeah.
I think it's time we got to ask you a very special question. It's a question that weighs heavy on the minds of all Guestos. Joe, do you want to ask the famous question?
I'll take this baby out for a spin. Gwynn, are you an anime sicko? May I remind you, there is no wrong or right answer, and this is a question that exists for you to get nutty with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Full stop. Unless you want me to elaborate. Like,
well, of course we want you to elaborate.
Yes, but I thought you'd be more conflicted. I wasn't expecting
I was,
such confidence.
honestly, I was conflicted until I started making notes, because I get hella nervous, even though it's just you two guys, but, like, I don't have an improvised character to hide behind. Like, me. Like, this is just straight up, it has to be me.
I thought you were thinking, you were like, referring to like your two improvised characters. I'm like, Gwynn, whoa, this is normal. Like, I'm playing me.
Yeah, and so...
I highly recommend having your character also just be you for everything, like I do.
Joe does.
I'm just saying, like, it's the most efficient move.
I am a cutesy anime sicko, for sure. Like, I know there's a style of anime, I don't remember the name of it, but there's a style of anime where sometimes during a show, mostly everybody is normal proportions and looks like a human. And then if there's like an embarrassing moment, everybody turns tiny with huge...
They go chibi.
Yes!
Yeah.
I love animes that have that in it. I'm not ashamed to say that I love this one anime where there is one character is an old grandpa, and all he does for the entire series is steal women's underwear with absolute glee.
As soon as you said anime and old man, I was like, I wonder what crime he's gonna be doing.
Yeah. Is blood coming out of his nose nonstop? Does that make it hard to burgle?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, what is this?
Honestly, I don't remember which one that is. My brain wants to say it's also Dragon Half, but I don't.
What is Dragon? So I saw this. You
man.
put this on the doc a few times. What the hell is this Dragon show? And are you talking about half a dragon? Someone's.
It's this girl who is the child of other. I believe they're both dragon shapeshifters. Oh no, one is just a famous swordsman, and the wife is a white dragon who can also be human. And
so that's the Dragon half. There you go.
Yeah, and their child is this girl who can change into a red dragon if she wants. But when she's human, she has red hair, and she looks a lot like a tiefling, like little horns and stuff like that. But she has white skin tone because anime.
Yeah.
And it's the kind that has the little, like, she gets into all kinds of situations and gets embarrassed because she loves this one singer named Dick Saucer. And, like, you know, she goes nuts.
Whoa!
She goes nuts for him.
Wait. Is this one of those where the name is they say the name in English?
Yeah.
Like they're talking in Japanese and then they go Dick Saucer and then they go back to Japanese?
I think it's Diku Saucer. Diku Sarusa.
Dick Saucer. Do they know?
I mean, you know, like, just like with fucking, isn't someone named Broccoli in an anime?
Yeah, that's...
Like, I feel like it's that kind of thing. It's just like, name him Dick Saucer. Because his dick is as big as a saucer. Who knows? But
it's wide and very
wide and extremely
flat.
Thin.
Dick pancake. So she's like head over heels for him as a singer, and you know, she gets little, you know, she gets the little animation anytime she gets awkward with the big sweat teardrop and all that shit.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, she's head over heels for this dude, Dick Saucer. And in like, I think it's like the first 3 episodes of the show, it's about her trying to get tickets to his big concert in the city, and they refer to him as just Saucer.
Cowards.
The thing about him is he's also a dragon slayer. So
of course
he is. But they always play a section of his song, and it's always the hook, so that you always know, like, you know, they teach you like that's Dick Saucer or whatever. And the hook of his song is just so. And when he's alone walking through the woods, he sings it to himself. He's just like walking through the woods with his big fucking dragon slaying sword, and he just goes so. And and that one moment has stuck with me for 25 years. And when I am not paying attention and just doing random things around the house, I will go, so. Tim, even, my partner, even asked me about it one day. He's like, what is that? Where is that from? And I had to think about it and be like, oh my God, it's from an anime that my brother showed me when I was like 13, maybe?
Oh my God, it's about a half dragon girl who wants to get tickets to see Dick Saucer. And
it's just a whispered little 3-note thing, and it's stuck in my head forever. Just like when, you know, you mutter to yourself like, belated.
Do you say like the full songs never play, so you only get these hooks of these other songs?
I don't remember.
Because that reminds me of like the McBain Simpsons thing. You never see what the full McBain movie is. You're only getting these little glimpses.
Yes. He might do a full song at some point, but like what stuck with me is that he's walking through the woods singing his own name.
Yeah, that's characterization. The song is just his product. That it's like great. He does it for work.
It's great.
The fact that on his normal, well, one, he wrote a song that's about like, you know who I am, and it's the famous name, Dick Saucer. And when he's by himself, he's just like, you know what rules? Saucer.
Me. This song.
Cog Talk. Cog Talk. Gwynn, you mentioned many times that you are a horrible cog in an awful machine, and it crushes you.
Yeah.
Like it does all of us. Speak on that.
Oh man. Many moons ago, when when I was an accountant at this one national and international firm that does deals worldwide.
I bet since they're so big and established that they treat people really well.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
With scale comes humanity.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't get that big without having some common sense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these millionaires, when they land a deal, of course, they hold a pizza party for everybody.
Wait, really?
Yeah. They'll give a pizza party. But, like, they're fucking millionaires. We get a pizza party.
And
we're supposed to be
giving another adult
grateful.
a pizza party is so offensive.
Yeah, and like
it's
like thanks for the pizza. Can I be paid what I'm worth?
I could always get pizza. Like the reason pizza parties were exciting when you were a kid is you have no money or autonomy.
Yeah, when you're a kid, pizza being in front of you is entirely the whims of some benefactor.
Yeah. Oh, one Christmas. Because, like, at the Christmas parties, which were very much all out, and I will say I miss those, only because they were so fucking lavish. And we groundlings happened to get invited. But it's mostly for the millionaires. And 1 year, but only 1 year, they decided to recognize assistants, administrative assistant. And at that time, I was considered on that level because I was still learning and, you know, growing as a person in a cog world. And they rolled out this table, like absolutely packed with teeny Tiffany boxes. And I was like, here we fucking go. And obviously they could buy the same thing for every administrative assistant because we were all women. Or women identifying. Yeah. So we all came up and got a box, and it was sure, it was Tiffany, but, like, I don't give a shit about that stuff. Like, I'm not into expensive jewelry. So it was a little Tiffany bracelet, and I was angry because I was like, you know what? This means no bonus. This means no raise. Yeah. This means another year of no, we won't pay you what you're worth, but we're going to try and fool you with this gift. And
this is a one-off expense with high wow factor to hide the long-term cost that you're describing.
And they never did it again.
Maybe they never gave you anything, or just never was just like, hey, have you ever noticed how we only hire women for the lower paying roles? Well, we noticed it.
Yeah, so we got you all fucking bracelet. Like, like a little handcuff around you to be like, remember who owns you.
Which is just health insurance. We don't need jewelry for that.
Yeah.
Fucking health insurance is the real
yeah,
Tiffany
it is the thing. The Tiffany bracelet is 2 steps removed.
The most messed up thing after that was like the next day or the next week after, administrative assistants were asking each other, why aren't you wearing your bracelet? Like, because I don't, at the time.
Now you have to wear it all the fucking time,
like, am I
right?
supposed to wear this shackle to work?
It's fucking, it's cop mentality.
Yeah.
They're making you into your own jailers.
Yes.
You have to, if you don't perform gratitude for the gift, well, then that makes me have to think more about how we're not getting treated with parity.
Yes.
Also, what if you don't like jewelry? Like, you don't wear it that often. You're going to have to make a show of it around the office. That sucks.
Also, and this is me being like really like whiny, is like, I get that it's like Tiffany silver, but like I don't want to have to fucking polish my jewelry every time I want to wear it. Like, thanks for giving me more work.
It's a chore.
It is a chore.
Yeah.
It's a chore. So
here are some alloys you should have gone with if you actually respected my time.
Stainless steel, motherfuckers.
So I remember hearing when you were at this job about, you mentioned briefly the millionaires.
Yes.
And much like many office jobs, they claim to care about everyone equally. But like, there's always, like in my job, like there's the sales department, which is due to the nature of the job. To be a successful guy in sales, you have to be like the most just like black-hearted, like just nothing behind the eyes, like lizard man.
Oh yeah, they would sell their grandmother if it meant $1 million commission. Yeah. Even $500,000 commission.
Those are the people who they bend over backwards to cater to. Yeah. And I remember hearing about some real winners.
Oh, yeah, one especially. This was also years ago when our cause of all sorrows, Donald Trump was first running for president. And it was the whole year leading up to it because it was a very long process.
It started in 2010.
Oh my God, it was awful.
Yeah. I was born when he started running.
You absolute baby. So this one dude, like, even though it is patently obvious that you are not, no one in the office is allowed to show, especially anyone in power, is allowed to show political leanings because that can make your staff feel obligated to feel the same. Like, it's a power dynamic. Yeah. And he... It feels weird just talking about it.
I bet he really respected those boundaries. I bet that's where you're going with
He had this...
Is that...
Yes, he had this corner office. And, like, a quick background about him, like, he had an extremely loud, booming voice. Like, a naturally booming voice with no effort. And he would have been a, like, rock star baritone opera singer. Mm-hmm. He had it. He had it. Instead, he decides not to do it. And
he becomes a yelling office man. That's the kind of guy that's really suffering with this work from home shit, because it's like, how can I can't make anyone have to listen to me yell.
And he doesn't get to say things like, this is going to be an easy sell. Mexicans love warehouses.
Jesus.
Within easy earshot of me and my team, 2 of which are from Central American immigrant families. One of them had to go to the bathroom to cry, and the other one was so angry she went straight to HR, and I was like, yes, fucking do it.
He was fired immediately, right?
Oh, no, he was
for breaking the
rules. He
rules.
was gently warned.
Oh.
And then another time, not far from then, another time he was like, I'll sell it to him. I don't care if he's black. And I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I fucking can't.
There's what logical assumptions are you starting from the jump when you say that sentence?
Anyway,
like it's so vague, but nothing it implies could be good.
Yes. So anyway, this dude had a corner office, and I often got in early when most of the lights are still off, and I had to go down a hallway where his corner office is at the end of it in order to get to my cube. And every morning, I got the shit scared out of me because there was a shadowy figure that looked like it was facing me every time I turned the corner in the morning. And I'm a forgetful person, so it got me every fucking time. Like, I would suck my breath in and like my body's like fight or flight because the person was so still. And like, you know, serial killers are still like that. And I suck my breath in and I'm like, ugh. And then of course I remember, it's just a life-size cutout of Donald Trump sitting in his office facing out so everyone can see it. And it's one of the ones of Trump standing there with two thumbs up.
The go-to.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
His famous pose.
And when this incredible millionaire broker first brought it in and had it facing out, he did get a gentle warning about how he's not supposed to display political leanings. So he turned it around and left it in the window. So it was still this creepy, shadowy figure that would still get me every morning. And and then after like a week, he turned it back around. During the time when our HR representative was out on vacation.
This is the real dynamic for all of these HR complaints, which is like so maddening, which is like if it's not going to be meaningfully enforced, and all these rules are like, the rules are fake because they're not enforced equally. But the sort of insidious way this sort of encourages more, it's like, okay, someone does acts that they're not supposed to. They get like their slap on their wrist where nothing happens. I mean, now they have data in front of them that says like, oh, pushing the envelope gets me no repercussions. I basically have a green light to see. It's like the Raptors testing the electric fence in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's like, actually, when I touch the fence, they give me more money. Yeah. It doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
Correct. Because eventually, they have to pay attention to you because you're the fence-touching guy, and you're their problem. And because nothing is fair,
but yeah,
of course, the people who are in those positions have more power than you.
And that guy, what an awful sort of like perfect storm, because when that guy, especially because the way that he decided, I'm going to break all the rules, is I'm going to have a big fucking Donald Trump cutout. He then went on to experience 4 years of the world proving him right and rewarding him for this behavior.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
More and more.
I did consider vandalizing it in some way because, like, if he's going to flout the rules and I can flout the rules secretly with him not knowing who did it, then maybe I should. But I never had the guts. Like, I am a straight up coward when it comes to being a cog. At least I was back then. I've since grown. But someone else took it upon them to do what I wish I had done. One morning, the cutout was gone. And at first I thought, oh, he finally took it down. Then a company-wide, Chicago-wide email goes out. Please return the cutout that was taken from XYZ's office. This is not funny.
Yes, it is.
It's the funniest thing that's ever happened.
It's amazing. It made my fucking month. And it never came back. It never turned back up. And I was just, the fucking joy of it. Whoever did it,
he has money. He could get another one. But if he didn't, it was like the victory, like the symbolic victory stopped it. Did he buy a new one?
Honestly, I'm inclined to think he didn't even buy the one he had. I'm inclined to think he just took it for free from some event because they will get whatever they can for free. If there's a way they cannot spend money, they will do it. And Joe, to your point of like making, when you get to that echelon of making so much money, the rules don't apply to you. Like as soon as, he touches the electric fence, every other broker touched the electric fence and bolted through it. Like if I was lenient on something that a broker had done by accident in our accounting budgets and, forgive the debt because it was an honest mistake going over budget and it wasn't a lot of money that he went over budget by, the next day, another guy would show up and be like, I know you did this for XYZ, so I need you to do the same thing for me. And like, they would be like $5,000 over budget. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And like, they press so hard. They are trained to just press and press and press and press. Yeah. And they don't care how it makes you feel.
Professional, like, like the sales funnel process is you just never stop.
And it gets personal.
Yeah. The job description is like, would you please behave like a demon?
Push the bruise is the job.
Poke the bruise. And it becomes
like,
personal.
Please open up a tear into hell and drag out as many demons as you can.
They're not afraid.
Become one of them.
Yeah, they're not afraid to get like really personal. Like, come on, you have family, right? You know what it's like. Like, I accidentally went over, my kid was having a birthday party. I was distracted. Like, they will pull out every possible heartstring to try and get you to let them not pay a debt that they officially owe the company. Like, they signed a document that said, if I go over budget on this one thing, I will pay the difference. And every time they will try and negotiate not to. I've had brokers who are just like, I'm not going to pay that. They just fucking straight up say, I'm not paying that.
That fucking kid's birthday party lie is so weak. Because, like, any of these motherfuckers give a shit about their child's birthday party.
Exactly. Like,
but, like, not even that. They're just like, yeah, I think that I don't want to pay that.
Also, I just felt like saying, you weren't at your child's birthday party. You blew it off.
Also, you didn't plan it.
Right? Your assistant or your wife did. Like, you don't do work.
Yeah.
And that leads me to a second cog story, Joe and Tom, if I may.
You may indeed.
And this is related to the making so much money that the rules don't apply to you. I was job searching a little while back. And let me tell you what. I'm a valuable fucking cog. Like, I have built up skills. And I have learned... There's nothing like updating your resume to realize you are extremely valuable and make it much easier to advocate for yourself.
I have the inverse where I have to put it to paper and I'm like, this is a hard sell. There's not a lot going on.
Let me see your resume. We will spice that up. We will spice that the fuck up.
I mean, I have a job now, and as far as I know, that'll never change.
Word.
Everything will be good forever.
Word.
Yeah, things will never get bad or fucked up.
So while I was on that job search a while back, I, made contact with a high-end recruiter, and like immediately he was like, I have a great opportunity for you. Let's do the phone screen with them. And I did the phone screen with it and, called the recruiter afterward and was like, hey, it went really well, because it did. Like, I'm a fucking delight. So
it's true, folks.
I have no problem with screens or interviews. So I called the recruiter afterwards. And I'm like, dude, the screening went really, really well. And he's like, that's awesome. And while he was talking to me, he got an email from them asking for an interview. And I was like, great turnaround.
At this point, did you know what this was?
Vaguely.
What they were...
Okay. Vaguely. I knew it was...
So you didn't get the details yet.
Right. I knew that he quoted, the recruiter quoted to me what I would probably be making. It would start out as a temp to perm position. Like, it would be probably like 3 or 4 months. And then if they like you, they'd hire you on. And again, I'm a fucking delight. So like, neither the recruiter nor I had any doubts. Like, we were both so confident about this. And rightly so, because as it turned out, I aced the first interview and the second interview. And then I was talking in the second interview where I was talking to the CFO. I asked a lot more questions. I was like, what was the reason for your creation of your job and the company and all that stuff? Because I really like to know what the hell I'm getting into.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, we are basically an organization that manages the finances for this one family in Illinois. And I was like, you do what now?
Was it Peter Francis Geraci?
No, wouldn't that have been amazing?
Yeah,
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, you handle the infotape portion. So it's just one family, of ghouls, of zombie people who
the
eat
Geraci
blood,
estate,
who have so much money that they need to hire on multiple people,
or Pritzker sized. Who knows? But it's up there.
This is the modern version of Downton Abbey. It's instead of it being like a single house that you maintain, it's like your all your children's and their lavish lifestyles.
Well, he literally
everywhere.
used the word
They're interviewing
estate.
you to be a Downton.
They said we manage their estate, and I was like, word. Just for one family? He's like, yeah, just like our co-CEO is, the son of the family.
Huh.
And I'm like, okay. I'm getting more nervous as we go on.
One thing you can really be sure of is that when someone has that much money, the reason they got it was like really ethical.
Super ethical. And he mentioned, I was like, oh, why are you expanding so quickly? Because he mentioned like, we are looking to hire on a ton of people in a really like fast, like I would have started within 3 weeks if this went well, possibly even like, since it was a temp to perm job, I would have been able to start like within 3 days if we wanted.
Yeah.
I said, why are you hiring so fast? And he said, because we hit an unexpected windfall in Q4 of last year, fourth quarter of last year. So, like, to me, I'm like,
when
oh,
people
that
make
means
a lot of money in fall of 2020. It's from something really ethical.
like a lot of.
Also, when it surprises them.
Yeah, it surprised them. So I feel like it wasn't just like stonks. It was like arms dealing.
They looted a temple.
They excavated a fucking pyramid and looted it.
Yeah.
So I started to get a little more nervous, and and I said, like, I just want to confirm when I was talking to the recruiter and in the phone screen in the first interview, it was established that I am 100% work from home. And he was like, yep, absolutely. We can do training remotely, and we send you 2 monitors and a laptop, docking station, everything you need to work from home. And I was like, this sounds great. Okay, awesome. And they did at one point I can't remember which interview or in the beginning, they did press a little bit about the work from home. Like, we will need you to come in sometimes, and probably after the pandemic is over, you'll be hybrid
or
yes,
flex.
hybrid or flex. And I was like, well, I need to remain 100% remote because, and side note, I should never have to disclose this. But in this climate, everybody assumes that when someone says 100% work from home, it's because they're lazy. So I have had to disclose this information every single time. And then, okay, so let me say it. So like I have to be 100% work from home because I'm immunocompromised. I have an autoimmune disease. And then they all go, oh gosh, you didn't need to tell me that because they know the law. And I was like, I had to.
Yes, you did.
I had no fucking choice but to tell you, or else you would not have considered hiring me. And so, like, at some point, they did press a little bit about, going hybrid. And I was like, well, I am immunocompromised, yada, yada, yada. But I still, like, every single interview, aced. And it was to the point that we were waiting for the offer to just slide into our DMs, me and the recruiter, Just
at this point, you and I were discussing this possibility because you talked to me about it, and you were like, "I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this job," and I'm not sure if I should, because like it's definitely evil. Like, for sure, I would be a little peon who helps the 1% evil villains. I would help maintain their awful empire and allow it to grow in its destructive power. However,
I had
look at this fucking salary.
Oh my god, yes. Like I would have been, just for the temp work, I would have been working like 15 grand more than I made at my previous job. Jesus. And then if I get hired on, the typical annual bonuses that are handed out, I was quoted this from the recruiter, would put me over 6 figures every year.
That's a lot of figures.
So I was texting with Tom.
That's better than a Tiffany ring.
Yeah.
Or a bracelet,
I was texting with Tom, and I was like, Tom, I might be a monster. Because this is literally working for the devil. 100% sure that I will be moving funds to and from Swiss bank accounts. 100% sure. But the money.
I think they use the Caribbean now.
The money.
Swiss is where you keep your old money. Nouveau riche dollars use Caribbean.
We don't know.
You're true.
And we don't know where the money came from. Like, the family money might have been, it was their idea to build the railroads, like, racistly.
I mean, probably. Like, they are old family with, like, old money, but this new windfall made them need to explode into growth, unexpected growth. So
my take was there's never going to be a universe where these people experience any misfortune. They're always going to succeed.
Oh yeah.
Why not if it's a temp position, if you're not going to be making this your life, siphon off some other fucking money for you and use it for good. That was my take.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was thinking like if I'm making that much, it's that much more that I can like donate or whatever. And I feel like this whole time I've been patting myself on the back while I'm talking about all of this. But like it was a real, I texted Tom because he knows cog work, and I was like, Tom, tell me if I'm a monster, please. Because this is so attractive. The money. Anyway, so during the time we were waiting for the offer to come back from the hedge fund people for the family money, I got a call from my ideal job, my number one pick. And they had renewed their conversation with me and wanted to prepare to make an offer. I let my high-end recruiter know, and he was devastated. Like, he literally couldn't talk for about several seconds. And I was like, I just want to make sure I am widely transparent with you. I let my number one pick know that I have an offer inbound from, probably these hedge fund people. And so I want to let you know that I have an offer inbound from my number one pick. And I was like, I'm not using this to try and get extra money. I'm just telling you.
Mm-hmm. This is life. I'm communicating effectively like an adult, letting you know that there are 2 variables I will choose from.
He freaked the fuck out. Oh,
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it showed instantly that how terrified he was of losing the commission of my placement. It must have been, if I'm getting paid that much, if I get the hedge fund people, imagine his commission for placing me.
A wonderful finder's
fee.
And he's probably worked with this family before or will like to in the future because, again, they have hell dollars.
So
hell dollars never run out. There's always more. They're always leaking out.
They're immune to inflation.
So we were like, the rest of this day, nobody knows what's going to happen until we hear either from the hedge fund or my number one pick. During that time, that evening, the recruiter started sending me inspirational quotes by text.
What?
And he's like, it was like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And,
fucking way.
Like, with no risk comes no reward. And like, I could tell he was absolutely shitting himself over the fear of not getting me placed. The next morning.
He was like, I need to send her a picture of everybody skydiving with a
or
good
with
message.
the cat on the rope, like, hang in there. This is the best offer you're going to get. And he definitely, for sure, when I first told him, immediately started shitting on the other people, even though he didn't know anything about my first pick, my top pick. Oh,
reflex,
yeah. He's like, oh, they won't want you the way this company is going to want you. Like, you want to go to a place that values you and pays you what you're worth. And I was like, I also want to work for a company that makes me feel like not a monster.
It sounds like he activated the salesman mode.
Oh, yeah.
That you were just like shitting on before, because they don't turn it off. They just push on bruises.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. It was the same exact thing. Anyway, so the next morning, I was going to follow up with the recruiter to see if we'd heard anything, but he calls me. And I was like, hey, TJ, what's the good word? And he goes, hey, they decided to pass on you. And I was like, okay. And I could tell he was annoyed at how fine with it I was. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, they said that they want someone who can actually come into the office, and because you're immunocompromised, they're not going to pick you. And I was like, word, that's illegal. Cool. I didn't say that to him.
They admitted to it.
But
yeah, it's also illegal to put the Trump cutout in your office.
It was guys, I had no words for how like gobsmacked I was. I just walked around the apartment with my mouth hanging open. Like you hear about it all the time. Like you see it in shows and movies, but like to have experienced the audacity firsthand of a company who services people who are so rich the law doesn't apply to them was...
Also, it's clear they see you as sort of like livestock, and they were like, things are going great, and then they like checked your mouth, and they were like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's very much like, yeah, I know that we really liked you, and you have all the skills that we're looking for. Here's the thing, though. I don't know. Us in the family, we really care about and really passionate about making sure that the little serfs we own are that we have total power over them. And one of the ways that you can really see total power is when you make them go to a place they don't want to go to. And if you're not going to do that, I mean, how am I going to get sexual satisfaction? I won't. So bye.
Yeah, if we can't see that you're working, then we know you're not, or whatever. Or if you're sick, we don't want to deal with that. Even though I'm not technically sick, I just have a syndrome, like... And I know how to handle it, motherfuckers. Like, just because I tell you doesn't mean I don't know how to handle it.
You asked, like, that's the thing. Like, you asked them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no problem."
And I jibed.
And they're just like, you know what, fucking.
I jibed with their team. Like, we had a group hangout after the second interview, and I jibed with their team so hard. Even the HR hiring lady was on, and like, I'm cracking jokes. I'm just being me. Because, like, there's no, like, if you can't interview being yourself, like, you're not going to get a job where you can be yourself. And so, like, we fucking vibed. And it honestly, in the small sense of the team, would have been an amazing job. I would have learned so much. I would have broadened my horizons as an accountant. So much. But, in the grand scheme... I know I dodged a bullet, but the bullet itself that I dodged was like made of so many different materials. It's like part of it was cake and part of it was poison and part of it was just like a shard of obsidian. And like, it just, it's the kind of thing where you're like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck just happened?
It would have been a big golden handcuff situation.
Yes. Oh, yeah. For sure. And just knowing that even if I brought charges, because I knew at least one friend would be like, sue them. And I'm like, first of all, I'm tired. I'm not going to sue anybody. Second of all,
the entire justice system is set up so that to do that means that your life is going to be about that for years.
Yes.
And they are going to not think about it once and win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have a team of lawyers. Like,
on
they
retainer.
have the Mr. Burns lawyers.
And it wouldn't even come to, like, a court lawsuit, because they would be able to settle out of court, giving me what would be a huge settlement probably, but would be pennies to them, which is also just like so fucking insulting. It's not worth doing. They'll never be held accountable. They just throw money at it. Anyway, cog work.
If I had a bunch of money and I had like estate money, I wouldn't want my accountant to come in. I would want as many people who I can pay to not have to come by me. I want that to be the case.
I would hire a staff of guys to just like make sketches. I would just be like, hey, who out there has a troupe that could make some I think you could leave level shit? How much do you need?
Yeah.
He did, the CFO did mention that part of the job would be cutting paper checks to members of the family. And I'm like, this sounds like I am managing the Schitt's Creek family. The Roses.
Yeah. You're giving the allowance to the large sons. And
yeah, like David Rose comes in and I cut him a check.
He's too likable, though. See, that's what's unrealistic.
December, all these like rich uncles are going to contact you to be like, I need to do checks for all these kids I don't care about. I need the spreadsheet with their actual names because I don't know them.
Gwynn, so here's the behind the curtain stuff, making up anime sickos. When we have our guests on, when we decide, this is gonna be our next guest, and we reach out to them and they say yes, I'd love to. What we do is I open up a Google Drive document, and this is where we put it's a big menu of all the things we could talk about. Obviously it's good to have more than you can get into one episode, but like here's some ideas, And what I like to do is I don't want to give someone a blank sheet, so I just write down some quick prompts. Like, is this anything? Could this be spin out? Like, here's something. Is there an angle here? And then just to give the guest something to think about. Now, I wrote opera. Is opera anime? Tell us some funny opera plots that we could go whoa to. And little did I know that planting this seed would bear such astounding fruit, because you're gonna hear some crazy shit. Gwynn, tell me about opera plots.
Opera is 100% anime. There's so much crossover in like men dressing as women to try and get into some kind of event, women dressing as men and they're in love with this dude, so they have to deal with this dude pining about love while they're playing his servant, and they're a woman dressed as a man, and like it's just like all the tropes is like, it's not a Venn diagram, it's a fucking circle. And
yeah,
just one example is the opera The Magic Flute, which is by Mozart. And I will tell you right now, the main characters and the main plot are so incredibly boring that they're not even worth mentioning. But the B plot involves the dude who is basically the comic relief. And he is he's this dude that prances around the stage, dressed completely head to toe as a bird, like covered in feathers, and wears a little tiny, like, oftentimes his costume involves like having a little bird cage on his back because he's a bird hunter.
Okay, so this to me was like open and shut opera is anime. This is like 1,000% JoJo's Bizarre Adventure logic. It's like bird hunter. What does he look like? Looks like a bird.
Yep. And he has a little.
Just to know the prey.
He has a little cage backpack. Like, that's it. That's the anime.
Yeah, because that's from Birds.
Yeah,
that's bird themed.
So, and his weapon of choice, or his weapon that is handed to him by like these three little magical ladies, is a set of very tiny bells. That's how he is supposed to defend himself. So like
against birds or against like guys?
Against henchmen. And I will tell you, during this entire opera, not one bird is caught or hunted.
This guy whips ass. Wait, okay. Does he ever use his set of bells as a weapon? Like, I'm trying to imagine.
I
the
bet
use
he
case.
just jingles around, right? Is he just some asshole jingling around
I
the
mean,
stage?
not literally, but it is often written into the music. And he'll sometimes ring it, and of course it's like the little tiny xylophone up on the really tiny bells, really tiny bars way up high. So it's like and he does defend himself with them. And he does at one point rescue the princess, who's the main character, love interest. Again, boring. And he defends her against a bunch of henchmen from the bad guy with fucking bells. Here's how it happens. He rings the bells and they suddenly just start singing and dancing. And the henchmen just sing and dance themselves off stage. Like, it's a huge, like, what the fuck moment.
That happened in the Mario Brothers movie. They make the Goombas dance in the elevator, and the rationale, Mario turns to Luigi Mario and says, "Everybody loves dancing," and that's the end of the scene.
Oh my god.
You know what it reminds me of is the fucking Norm Macdonald sketch that people were sharing around after he passed, where it was like Norm Macdonald was in the West Side Story gang, and like anytime a rival gang would show up, all of his friends would start going like
And dancing.
and he'd just be like, "Uh-oh, this isn't gonna go well."
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. He does spend the whole opera pining for love. He wants to find a one true love, and he gets a glimpse of a one true love, and then spends the entire time pining for her specifically, and at one point is like very seriously is about to hang himself if he cannot have this woman. And he's, may I remind you, the comic relief in this opera.
They thought that was a lot funnier back in the day.
For sure. But after he rescues the princess, he rings the bells one last time, and on stage comes his true love, a woman dressed head to toe as a bird.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is not explained.
Oh, it makes sense why that's the perfect mate.
But it's just not explained why. Like, he's like, I'm a bird hunter, and that's why this is supposed to, like, nonsensically make sense.
Well, this is pure anime logic, which is just like, well, she would match, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Also,
yes.
Also, she needs to have multiple outfits so we can sell a figure of her base outfit and then her bird outfit.
You're right.
And then you can sell her as a bird on her own and sell her as a bird with her bird boy.
Is bird hunter like an old-timey term for lady, like dame?
No.
Like he is.
This is an Italian
and when you
opera.
say
So it's not.
the Italians love having birds.
Yeah, you know how they love birds.
Wait, okay. So I would when you say that there's a bird cage as part of his outfit, is he hunting like birds is he hunting like a pheasant, like to eat, like a quail, or is he like trying to get a canary?
I don't know. Like, I know he's a bird hunter, and once he's caught them, he puts them in his cage. But like, is it explained what he does with them afterwards? I don't think so.
This is a key part of anime, which is critically undeveloped side
Exactly.
characters.
It's just like, look at this clown. Here's what he does for a living. Nothing else is explained. So then his true love walks on stage. None of it is explained. Then they have this whole duet. They have the whole scene to themselves. It's just them on stage. They have a duet where for the first quarter of the duet, they are just singing their fucking names at each other.
Like Pokemon?
Yes, this is also anime.
Yeah, because his name is Papageno, and her name, of course, is Papagena. So they spend the first quarter being like, Papageno, Papagena, Papageno. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Then they spend the rest of the song. See, here's the thing. Papageno fucks. This is the rest of the song. They sing about fucking and making babies, immediately. Population explosion from just this couple. One of my favorite videos of this duet, which I sent to you guys, and if you didn't get a chance to watch it, that's fine. But even
I watched it
towards the end, she literally strips off her costume and puts her legs around him, and I'm just like, this is the fucking This is the fucking like
the fan
amazing.
service. This is the hot springs.
Yes, it's the hot springs episode. So okay, I was under the impression that Mozart was a great genius, and this is something that something about operas that like I don't. It doesn't. It's just because I'm ignorant.
Yeah.
It's like the world is set up to make you not care about opera. It's so weird to me that like when you think about these opera guys, it's like they're composers. Yeah. They're great musicians. What they do is they compose great music, timeless music.
Very serious.
But like a lot of the music they composed is from operas, which have to have a fucking... So they also wrote a story, too? And it's like, it seems like they didn't really care about that part very much.
Well, Mozart famously had a dirty sense of humor. Like, because he didn't...
I remember that from
He
the
didn't
movie.
have to... Yes. He didn't have to care about the music because it just flowed out of him. So, like, that was easy for him. All the beautiful arias and all that shit, he just spits it out.
He could focus on goofs.
He could. He could focus on goofs full time if he wanted.
Yeah, he was just like, damn, what if that bird guy had a cod piece that was a second bird cage?
It's great. And like operas in general, like a lot more characters fuck than you think. Like Marriage of Figaro opens with Figaro measuring his marriage bed. Literally, that's the opening scene. He's out there with a fucking tape measure singing the numbers of inches. His bed's going to be long, and the numbers of feet, because he wants to like roll around and fuck all day long with his future wife.
I was about to be like, how did they do it back then where like the size of the bed was like critical? Usually most beds are serviceable, am I wrong?
Yeah, it was just like, and that's the opening, is like how I'm going to fuck and how much room I want in order to fuck.
How the
I
hell?
have geometric fuck proofs, which I will now read to you.
It's amazing.
How did I get tricked into thinking that opera is highbrow? Like, how did that happen?
Oh, because it's financially inaccessible. It just became this fucking thing where since only rich people could afford it, it was considered super highbrow.
I believe Tom thinks it's highbrow because Frasier likes it.
That's also fair.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was wrong.
Ballet.
Yeah.
But, there's funny ballet out there. I don't know any, but I'm sure there is. I'm
seeing here that you've also written the plot to
Turandot.
And I don't know if... Okay, I was about to be like, is this T at the end of fucking Silent T? It's Turandot.
Oh my god. And here's about that highbrow shit. Like, you'll hear people mispronounce it all the livelong day. They will say Turandot. It's not even a French opera. Turandot would be the French pronunciation.
Oh, yeah.
But it's an Italian opera, and it's set in fucking, like, China.
Wait, what? What? Oh, no. I'm sure they're very sensitive. Yeah. Okay, and here, talking about how being Italian, that's another reason I think they're highbrow. It's because they're fucking European. Yeah. I'm remembering from Amadeus, going back to the movie, how they would be like, oh, no, German is no language for the opera. Opera must be in Italian. I'm just like, how can you have an opinion about that? It's like, if an opera's in Italian, I'm just like, I don't know what these fucking words are. I'm bored. Bye.
It's crazy because German and Hebrew are my favorite languages to sing in because they have so much more like they have so much more that is okay to pronounce. Like in Italian and French, the object is to sing through the words but make it really as smooth as possible and barely touch the consonants and stay on the vowels.
Okay, that's something. I'm glad that you're saying that that's a real thing because I've often been hearing like an opera. I'm like, are they talking fucking words? I can't hear shit.
Right.
It sounds like they're just going, oh, it's like, where's the word?
Yep.
How am I supposed to know what's going on?
The way you described it was very good. You said sing through it. Like the language is in the way. It is. And we need to blast it with the right frequency. They treat it
like if you can sing it as just nonverbal and barely touch on the words, like that's the fucking goal. But with German and Hebrew, the goal is to sing the words as well as the notes. So because German is very chewy. It's a very chewy language that takes up a lot of your mouth. And it's just gorgeous. Oh my God. Singing German lieder or German songs is just, it's just, I love it because I love chewy shit. I love to be able to say the words. Anyway, I could talk about that all day. So Turandot by Puccini, who is Italian,
Puccini.
is an opera that opens with a beheading.
Excellent.
And it's because this princess refuses to marry anybody because she claims to be possessed by an ancient ancestor woman spirit who had ruled on her own by herself.
That's an anime.
Right?
Thing.
Yeah, I'm actually a 3,000-year-old dragon.
Yeah, so she's like, if they can't answer me, my riddles 3, they die. Like, she executes them. And princes from all over the land are being summarily executed because they can't answer these 3 fucking riddles.
You get a hint? I wouldn't go. I wouldn't.
Oh, this one dude.
After the first prince died, I'd just be like, fuck it.
And in this one prince who's in disguise because he's on the lam is in the city with just his like ancient advisor and his maidservant. And he's disguised, so he's among the hoi polloi, among the people watching this dude be led off to get just like fucking butchered. And he catches a glimpse of the princess. He falls immediately in love, and he's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna answer her stuff, and I'm gonna win. And of course, like, ancient advisor is like, what the fuck are you doing? Maidservant, who is of course in love with him, is like, please, man, please don't do this. You have someone devoted right die. Here. He does answer the riddles, and if I may, let me tell you what the riddles are and what the correct answers are, because they make no fucking sense. They make no sense.
Good. Tell me.
Here we go. The first riddle. What is born each night and dies each dawn?
If I was if I had to guess, I'd say darkness, the moon. It could be the moon, but that's borderline because there could be a night with no moon. Darkness would be possibly the stars, starlight. There it is.
Mine would have been dreams.
There you go.
Or, like sleep or something like that, right? Something that makes sense. So apparently the real answer is hope.
What?
Exactly.
Huh?
Right. Like, how does hope get born in the night and die in the morning? Like,
you're asleep.
Do we
at
only
night.
hope while we're asleep?
So people have to die because she makes a shitty game?
Like, she writes these fucking questions, these riddles, and then requires answers that what?
Reminds me of like when kids write jokes. Like there's a Twitter account that's like, why did the chicken cross the road? It's shut up. And it's like, that's the joke.
Yeah.
The second one is, what flickers red and warm like a flame, but is not fire?
The devil.
Oh, thousands of things.
And the answer is...
It could be fall. Here's what I would say. Here's what I would say. Falling leaves.
Ooh, that's kind of beautiful. Yeah, because the flickering.
Yeah. It's better than this shit. I'm seeing what this is.
Oh yeah.
It ain't good.
The answer is blood, which immediately begs the question: how does blood flicker?
It sure does.
Does it mean like pulse, or does she mean like when she beheads someone and it just sprays out?
It must be that. But like, why would that be something that you've seen it? Well, I guess this is another example of your own lived experience making a bias than you, that you don't understand other people. She thinks that everyone knows this about blood.
Yeah.
She's seen it every day.
She's rich. These answers make sense to her. And the third one is, this is amazing. What is ice which gives you fire and which your fire freezes still more?
See, this is when in the anime they didn't translate it right. This is like because they didn't have enough time to translate it, and so you don't understand.
And this is very careful translation, and it still is like it's a sentence that's wrapped in on itself, You know what I mean? Like, it refers to
Yeah,
different
yeah.
parts of
What
itself. Ugh.
gives you fire and which your fire. Yeah, that's fire. Fire freezes. Fire freeze.
Yeah.
This is fucked. What is ice which gives you fire and what your fire freezes still more? Joe, what would you guess for that? What would your guess be?
I said devil. I said the devil.
Nah.
The devil's answer for two things. Yeah, I don't know. I would probably say, I don't know, dry ice. Could be dry ice.
Right. Being frozen to death, dying in the snow is, you start to feel extremely warm and sleepy. And
that's the answer that's pretty morbid, which fits
it's
the last
death by
one.
snow.
So what's the answer?
The
What's the real
answer is her. He gives the answer Turandot. And he's correct. He's basically saying, and she's basically saying, I'm an ice queen and I make you love me, but the more you love me, the icier I get.
That doesn't bode well for their relationship going
Right?
forward. Am I crazy?
Right? And it's
This, okay. The opera is anime, but you can really tell that these European freaks from the old times, if they had known about fighting, if there had just been one opera where it was just like, I'm a martial artist and I will learn a special move, like they'd just be like, oh my fucking god, like what have we been doing?
For
all the
sure.
time?
They will spend like the grand like multi-voice finale of the first or second act before intermission, an entire song about look how strong he is getting. Look how strong he is getting. He is getting so strong and so powerful. Like, that is a thing. So fear not, anime friends.
Hell yes.
You can Google like funniest opera moments or just go straight to YouTube, funniest opera moments, and it's you'll get some insane shit. It's great.
Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode.
Gwynn, you are a gaming sicko, I hear. And I don't hear, I know. Tell us about the games you like.
I'm a little off the beaten path. I'm not a Destiny player or anything like that. I like to, my usual go-tos are adventure walking simulators or mystery walking simulators like Edith Finch is
Jones.
just incredible, but it gives you a big fucking sad at the end, and that's not ruining anything. The process, the adventure is incredibly worth it and so good.
Yeah.
It'd be either that or like The Longing, which is a 400-hour real-time game.
I'm sorry,
it
what?
takes 400 hours to play through the game, and it's real time.
Is it a JRPG? Because that's like how long they are.
It's a single player. You play this little shade who works for the fairy god beneath the earth who has gone to sleep, and he will awaken in 400 days. Sorry, not 400 hours. 400 days.
Does time pass when you're not playing?
No.
Or do you have to have it on for 400
You have to have
days?
it on. You have to be logged in and playing it for the time counter to continue counting down. You have a counter at the, on the screen that counts days, hours, minutes, and even seconds. So, and during that time, you have an entire cave, probably like dozens of caves to explore. And you have a little self apartment that you can build out. Like you can dig extra rooms, and you can, when you find crystals in the caves, you can pick it up and, light up your room with a crystal. And I absolutely fucking, house flipped that shit. Well, didn't house flip it. I didn't sell it to anybody, but absolutely dressed the shit out of it. Comfy chair, all that shit. Yeah. And explored all of the caves, found mushrooms that, make me have psychedelic dreams, and it's amazing. It's incredible. It's so much fun. It's very dark.
In tone or in visuals?
Both. But so it makes it makes it interesting, and like I spent a lot of time falling in love with taking care of this shade and wanting to bring as much joy into its life as possible.
So what I would fear, whenever because oh man, that timer would just make me be like, what if I fuck up? Like, what if I'm at like day 300 to 400 and I like just run into like, oh, by the way, you needed to have been doing this thing which takes 200 days. I'm like, I don't have 200 days. Oh no. Like, what do you like? Is there something you need to do? Or are you just chilling while you wait for the? I forgot what the thing. What happens?
He awakens.
Days? What are you longing?
He awakens.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and like your only job was to be his servant, his shade.
Uh-huh.
And there are tiny clues that you'll find, like a little skeleton, and there's all kinds of, like, closer to the surface, you can find and dig out these caves that get closer and closer to the surface, and you'll find things like a skeleton. And there's a lot of stipulation in the community that, like, that's his body. And when he became a shade, he became subject to this underground god, or nature god or whatever.
Oh.
Anyway, it takes 400 real-time days. I did have it running sometimes while I was at work, and just during quick little breaks, I would take him adventuring, because at a certain time, like halfway through, you're like, I gotta burn time. I can't do this. But then the closer you get, the more scared you get, like, because you find options. You start to find options. Like, you find a cliff where a little bubble comes up, and you're like, there's a nice fall to this cliff if someone wanted to jump. What? Like, it is seriously like, here's an option, suicide. I can get out by suicide. And it becomes one of the options to end the game. Is to kill yourself. Yeah. There are, I think, like 4 different possible endings.
Am I thinking this correctly? Where it's like, to me, because the game is called The Longing. My thought is that this is a game, like, you're designed to play this, like, a playthrough for, like, a decade. And, like, to play 400 real-time days of gameplay, that's 24 times 400, that's 9,600 hours. That's, like, ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, like, to me, like, is the purpose that, like, you play it a little bit for, like, I don't know, 15 years, and then when it finally ends, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe it, it's ending. I've been longing for it all along.
Yeah, I had a lot of mixed feelings, because I started taking care of this little shade like a fucking Tamagotchi. Like, I had obsessively to check in on him every day. And, like, my partner was like, are you playing? I'm like, yes. Like, it was the only game I dropped every other game I was playing and was only playing this game obsessively. Like, I would take my laptop with me everywhere in the apartment because, death was outside. But I cared so much about it that by the end, I was afraid that something bad would happen to him, my tiny little shade, who I've been taking care of for 400 days. And in the community, it is very, like, heavily, like, this is my child.
Yeah.
Very Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
And when it ended, there was a real absent feeling of, what do I do now? Like, Tom, you get it, like, when you have to end a show.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I...
Yeah. It's like,
what do I do with my life now? This has been such a big part of my life.
It is a part of me.
Anyway, so...
That's
my usual go-tos are discovery walking simulators and mystery simulators like that.
I do gotta say, I really appreciate that genre, because, like, it's very fun to have a game where, like, as a contract made with the game, it's like nothing's gonna come out and get you.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's gonna go blah.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna have to fucking react to something really quick. And it's good to have games like that, but, like, that'll wear you out.
Yeah. I tried to play Abduction, and and there was so much work. I was like, nah, fuck this. And I just looked up the ending. I was like, cool. Don't need anything else. I'm good. I can even watch the ending on YouTube.
I'm seeing this game, Monstra City Bakery. This seems like the game you're into these days.
Oh my goodness!
Do you run a little store?
You are the only human in a city of all kinds of different monsters, and you run a bakery.
Already love
like
it.
you've inherited this bakery from your aunt who passed, and everybody in the city knew your aunt, and they're so thrilled to see that the bakery is open again. And again, you are the only human. So the customers that come in are like, a ghost comes in and she's super sweet. She's got a little straw hat and a summer dress and all this stuff. And let me tell you, like up front, every single quote unquote monster that you meet is extremely fuckable. Like they are all so cute and adorable, and any of them will flirt with you if you pick the right word bubbles. And there are emotes where they blush. And let me tell you, there is nothing cuter than watching a 19-foot tarantula blush at you.
Oh my god! Wait. Okay, I'm looking at like the itch page, and there's the banner at the top, and there's all the monsters, and then there's a tarantula behind them, a giant one. And I, in my ignorance, was just like, the tarantula is just a background image. Like, that's one of them? That's one of the bachelors?
They are the cutest. And they're all different identities. Like, there's a werewolf in there that is, oh my god, the cutest. He is like a student at the local community college, and he blushes at the slightest conversation with you. Like, it is, essentially, it's a dating sim, but what I adore about it is just the different characters, and its dialogue is clever, it's funny, it's smart. You know, it's not like a dating sim that's just kind of like, you go through, you meet people, you flirt, end of game. Like, you get to choose different people to flirt with, and it brings on adorable endings every time. And, like, there's a single mom Cthulhu character. There's a really sweet Medusa character whose snake hair hates you at first, but then they kind of get used to you.
The snake hair likes you.
Yeah, they get used to you. Like, they hiss like crazy at you at first. She's the librarian.
You know what this strikes me as? This is like if Hot Tub Boyfriend wasn't like twisted.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a twist. If it was just like, yeah, it's this. It's nice. Yeah. It's nice the whole time. It can just be nice. Everybody is worth flirting with. I think the only one there's one that like will kill you on sight, but you have to learn to navigate that character and meet them the right way so that they don't just, it will end the game if you try and deliver a cupcake to this one character. Huh. Well, I guess they are monsters. Yeah. Do they go to jail if that happens?
No.
Do the other monsters like
it ends the game?
Look askance at
it
them?
Ends the game. It's like, you're dead. Please please play Monster City again. I just can't stress enough how cute and funny it is, and what a breath of fresh air it is to play that after a day long of cog work.
Hell yeah.
Like, your assistant at the bakery is a fucking fairy, and she is the size of a human hand. Like, it's just...
Aww.
Everyone is awesome. Also, the gameplay buttons are all conversation hearts.
Oh, like from fucking Valentine's Day. Oh shit, I'm looking at the picture now.
Yeah,
look at that.
It's a 100%.
That's
I
cute.
found out the genre of stuff like this is called uwu games. UWU, that makes the cute face when you type it out. And there are plenty of games like this where it's just adorable and lovely. Like, there's another one that I know someone on Twitter I follow who's developing a game where all you do is pet cats.
Hell yeah.
And like, it had so much support immediately.
There was this one game that got announced where you play as a cat, but then, and it was like this little cute cat going through the city. And then there was like a year went by, and then there was the next trailer, and it's like, here's our gameplay trailer. You play a cyberpunk cat who has to fight robots. And I'm like, boo! Boo!
I want to be a normal kitty cat.
Yeah, I don't want things to come out and get me. I don't want to have to go on a kitty adventure. I want to just chill out and be a cat. I want to like sit in the sun.
I want to walk up to people, have them pet me, and then I want there to be a sound effect of just purring. That's it.
Yeah, I want it to be like if someone pets me on the butt while I'm asleep, I go burp, burp, burp. You know how cats do? I can't do it because I'm not a cat.
Or chitter at birds.
Yeah.
That like noise they make when they see birds.
That's the best shit.
I love it. Anyway, yeah, lately I'm into uwu games, which just take the stress right out of me, which I need.
Fuck, I gotta play some games like that. I've been playing too many of these JRPGs and like run and guns.
Nah,
my brain is becoming too sicko. I need to balance
this.
out.
I can't recommend this one enough. I think you especially, Tom, will really love it. Joe, I think your partner would absolutely go bonkers for this one.
She does. Winnie does need a new game. She's just finished wrapping up Cozy Grove. Well, I mean, to the degree you wrap it up, you end the main game, and then like Animal Crossing, you can putter forever.
There's also a game that's called, I think, Unpacking. Have you heard about this game?
I heard
All
about
you
that,
do
yes.
is unpack boxes and choose where they go in different rooms. That's it.
Holy shit.
That's it.
Oh my god. My wife would. This is what she does in real life to chill out. It's like we'll go up to a bookshelf that's totally organized fine and just organize it a different way.
It's unbelievably soothing. I watched a playthrough of it. The playthrough I watched was a friend was playing it, and she's a professional organizer. And can I just tell you,
oh my god,
how fun it was to watch her play it. She was so thrilled. And it's so soothing. So highly recommend that one as well.
Incredible.
Monstrosity Bakery and
Hell
Unpacking. A Long Hike. You know, all those ones that are very soothing.
Short hike.
Jesus. A short hike.
That game, okay, me and my wife played that game. She does most of it, and I will every once in a while when I'm watching, I'm like, let me play. That game is so chill because you're just a cool little bird who's like flying around.
I just love
and
kicking around
You can't get hurt. You can't fall too far because you have wings. You can't get
honestly
hurt, and you just gotta climb.
I can't, I get frustrated at the whole needing to climb thing and the little quests. So I'm like, fuck quests. I'm gonna go to the beach and kick around that beach ball for like 20 minutes.
I mean, just walking around and like jumping off of like cliffs and gliding is so fun in that game. Just moving, the act of moving.
It's
is
so
incredible.
nice.
We're the anime sickos, and we're here to say anime is bad in a war crime way.
Folks, that kicked ass. I gotta thank Gwynn Fulcher, our close friend, our dear friend, one of the greatest people, for finally going Guesto mode. And man, there's a lot that we didn't get to. Like a lot. Like we could be going for another hour or two, but I'm tired and hungry. So
my cat is yelling at me through the door. He wants slop.
Yeah, so we got a call for now. Maybe we'll do a bonus episode, put on Patreon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends. There's definitely material for it. But Gwynn, thank you so much for being on the show. Where can people find you and your
Oh,
yourself?
hell yeah. On Twitter, I am Gwynn Valentine. GW, the number 1, and then Valentine. I'm on Instagram as To Earnest Valentine, all one word, because that is a true statement. And that's about it. Like, I used to be on Facebook, but I'll be damned if I check that any more than 5 seconds every, month.
I have a Facebook account only because I used to use it to make Facebook events for the Skewer live show. But, I mean, even if the Skewer were to come back because pandemic went away, no one uses Facebook. The Facebook events are useless now because no one uses Facebook. And also, I don't want to log in to find out how to delete an account. You also are a cast member on Shuffle Quest, a great RPG podcast featuring me, Joe, you, and Allie Reed, who famously played Young Goody on the Modesty City
and she's
play.
incredible. Listen for her alone if you want. She's amazing.
Previously also included Codex Melcher, a hilarious, just incredible person. And I know their podcast Tomfoolery is defunct, but that's just really funny.
It's worth it.
We were on Tomfoolery.
It's so good.
You should listen to it. Hell yeah. Well, anyway, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a delight, as I knew it would be. But I'm wrapping it up now. I've been Tom, an anime sicko.
I've been Joe, an anime sicko.
I have been Gwynn Fulcher, an absolute anime sicko.
Hell yeah. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at ShariaUncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.